And it's going to be a That's More Like It edition for the Texas Longhorns, this time at DKR. They are finishing off what now is a 55-0 beating of Sam Houston State. Looks like that's going to be the final, a little bit ahead of the 2-minute warning here. It's about to become official, but Texas slaughtering Sam Houston State, and a big exhale among the fan base and maybe the team and the players and the coaches. Here we go. Lowy Law Firm sponsors it. I'm Chad Hastings, Jason Sukumel with me here at TCH Social Austin. Thank you all for coming out. 183 and Anderson Mill. And that, of course, is Jeff Ketchum of Orange Bloods. Ketch, we'll give you the first word. 55-0. The Sammy Hagar that they're hanging on them. What have you thought so far?
I mean, you can't get too carried away, right? Like I had somebody on Orange Bloods earlier was talking about Connor Robertson playing center today and was like, he's better than Cole Hudson. And I was like, well, let's not go overboard based on anything that we saw today, right? Let's not go transitive properties. And it's like, well, they did this to Sam. They did what they needed to do today. They dominated a poor football team. And I think more than anything else, Stella kind of got her groove back at quarterback. Now, will it mean anything in Gainesville? Will it mean anything in the Cotton Bowl? I mean, it remains to be seen, right? We again, don't go too overboard based off of anything that happened today. But Arch Manning got into a groove. Arch Manning played a really high level of football against a terrible team. And it's got to start somewhere. And I think that we may weirdly look back at Arch starting some stuff with a Sam Houston State defender in the end zone that felt very small time when it happened. But the team and he seemed to really respond to it. And if in 3 or 4 weeks this team is still in the top 5 or near the top 5, they only have one loss, they've gotten through Florida, they've gotten through Oklahoma, we will probably weirdly look back at the San Jose State moment, whatever this game was and whatever that little igniting moment was, and we'll say the season's got to start somewhere for a guy. And maybe tonight that happened. It could be a lot worse. There could be a big talking point of negativity tonight, right? The running game sucked. No, it was okay. It was solid. Arch was good. Receivers caught passes. Big plays ensued. Defense pitches a shutout. Like, every guy in that locker room, coach, trainer, player, mom, dad, you name it, they'll be able to put their heads on the pillow tonight and feel pretty good just in general about everything that happened. And I think it's probably been more than a month since anybody in the Texas football locker room has put their head on a pillow without anxiety. Now, look, it can come back in a flash, but tonight I think the guys in that locker room will sleep well, which means this was a mission well accomplished. Ultimately, a bad football team they beat, but it felt like for me, all of the boxes got checked in terms of what would you want to see in this game. I think we saw most of it.
You guys throwing the super chats in. We appreciate it. We'll start getting to those. By the way, Ketch just nailed it. With all due respect to UTEP, I'm referring to the September games from now on as the Sam Jose State games. That's fantastic. Jason, what were your thoughts?
Coming into this game, I did the matchups, and I think I said in our Slack channel, so this is a really bad football team they're playing. But listen, if we're going to poo-poo Texas a little bit last week when they struggled, then we need to give them their credit when they do exactly what good teams do to overmatched opponents. I mean, this game, for all intents and purposes, was over after each team had one possession. It's like, okay, it's so clear that Texas is overmatching this team. But, I've said, and you and I, Chad, talked about it, I think even on the recruiting hour, like, what did we want to see? I said, I want to see Texas get in the 50s, get in the 60s. That's what really good teams do against crappy opponents like Sam Houston. And that's what we saw. This game, to me, was just a matter of, is Texas going to get the shutout? And how high is Sark going to push that number on their side of the scoreboard? Mm-hmm. So, they called off the dogs as we sit here, 55-0. I think, the Texas defense is on the field, so let's see if they can still get the shutout. But, this was exactly what the doctor ordered. I think Texas needed this going into the bye week. It's going to calm down some of the critics from last week, including the three of us. But this is exactly what good teams do against inferior competition. So good job by Texas, and should give them some confidence going into the off week and then going into that Florida game after that.
Let's start grabbing some super chats here. Go up to Oscar, who's got a little money tonight. What's up, Oscar? Took my buddy Jay to his first UT game, and they killed it. Could Jay get a shout-out catch?
Jay!
Hey, you know what you need to do now, Oscar, for the rest of time? You got to take Jay to DKR. Sounds like Jay needs to go to DKR. Every time.
That sounds a little bit like, though, Onward taking vacation off literally in the middle of the period of July when Texas gets a bunch of commitments.
Hey.
And then he convinces everybody, I got to take more vacation because every time I go on vacation, Texas gets a bunch of commitments.
As if every team doesn't get a bunch of commitments in July.
Hey, all I know is it's J55 and everybody else nothing right now. That's all Jay knows. Jay, I'm with you. They need to take you to every game. Oscar also had an extra $9.99 laying around. Thank you, Oscar. Also, it's just Sam Houston, but this game looked like the remedy Arch and the offense needed. You could feel the relief in the stadium when everyone realized we may be good after all. Is that maybe, guys, what tonight is really all about? It's almost like a, you know, you don't want to go too far catch, like you said, but it's almost like a palate cleanser, a take a breath and realize, okay, this is sort of the team that you thought you might see. They can be pretty good. Now we got to find out how good.
Well, I think Ketch said it. This feels good. You got 2 weeks to kind of cherish this one and talk about it and stick your chest out. But like Ketch said in his comments, things can change in a hurry, right? You go to Florida and this offense struggles again, then this game doesn't really matter. So you got to build on this one. You got to keep this consistency going. I mean, you're not going to roll up 55 in Gainesville, but yeah, you've got to build on this and continue to be consistent, continue to show good quarterback play. Otherwise, those, I won't say the boo birds, but the questions will come out pretty quickly if you go struggling in your next game.
Yeah. And it is final. It is done now. 55-0.
I used to work with this guy, married guy. He got divorced.
Mm-hmm.
And as he was getting divorced, this is a long time ago. This predates Orange Bloods, but it postdates when Jason and I worked at KI together. So there's a window of time there, by the way, if you guys want to try to figure it out.
All right.
I worked with this guy, married guy. Wife cheated on him. She's kind of not good. He was in a rut. He hired a prostitute, Chad, and he got his mojo back. And after he had the prostitute experience, suddenly he started meeting women and he met his future wife. This guy is now married.
Not the prostitute.
Not to the pro, but the pro served a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Historically, the pro will be remembered as, and he may not remember it that way, but I do. It's the thing that got him back to being like a man again. And I think Sam Houston State, as wretched as they are, as incapable of giving Texas a slap fight as they were tonight. Sometimes, man, look, Sam Houston State. At least I said Sam Houston State.
Yeah, you did.
Instead of San Houston State or
Sam Jose State. Sam Jose State was my favorite.
I tell someone every day that the Sam and the San is so close together that I'm just.
Yeah, when I've tried to say these three games to people, I always have to stop my brain to say them in the right order and all those words. It's just too much.
A lot of states. It's just anyway.
Yeah.
But I just think that Sam Houston. I also wonder, this is why you play this game to open a season. And this is why you don't open the season with Ohio State and Columbus. And I know that there are some extenuating circumstances and that it was a historically abnormal event. But I did watch tonight and think to myself, what if this game had been first? What if this was the first game on the schedule instead of going on the road, number one team in the country? Arch never fully recovered from that performance. It carried over into the next one. It carried into the next one. And we're talking about does this guy suck? What's going on? Or is he Jackson Arnold? I got that remark this week. And I was like, I don't think he's Jackson Arnold. But if an Oklahoma fan was watching Arch Manning for the last couple of weeks and said, that guy kind of looks familiar. I saw that last year. Look, Jackson Arnold was a 5-star prospect, so it's not like it's apples and grapes. It's closer on the fruit thing, right? I just think that Arch needed to feel good about himself. And I think San Jose State / Sam Houston State, because yeah, see what I did there, Chad?
Yeah.
They just go away, both of you. I think Sam Houston got paid. Texas left the money on the dresser, like on the end table. Tried not to be insulting, but left it on the end table. And like walked out feeling good about himself. That's what I think.
Well, also, I just saw a great visual. The two guys they interview on TV after this game are Arch and Wingo. We talk so much about the Arch part of this, but guys, we've been talking about Wingo for a couple of weeks too. Number one, what's Wingo's final number tonight?
4 for 93, 2 touchdowns, and he had 1 carry for 32 yards.
There it is, right?
25 yards of offense.
There's a number one receiver. There's a guy that should be wearing the number one.
He cleared Prize Picks, Chad.
I was going to say Prize Picks wise is good for a lot of people. Maybe that guy right there. And the guy wearing number one on defense looked like maybe he needed to be wearing number one. I felt Colin Simmons in this game very quickly, and he had a good night. It was just, I mean, catch. Go ahead.
Chad, I'm sorry, but the most important thing that, ironically, everybody's going to focus on Arch and look, fair. Yeah, he was incredible. Like he put together an incredible second and third quarter. I did he finish the game like on his completing his last 11 passes? I think he was 7 for 7 in the second quarter and 4 for 4 in the third quarter. So like,
yeah, it went up to like 13 of 13, I want to say at some point too.
I don't know. I tried to do the math and I don't think it was quite 13. But
maybe
it was up there, whatever it was.
But the thing that I think is maybe low-key the big talking point on offense is I think this running game, whatever we think it was tonight with Jarrett Gibson, with Christian Clark, with James Simon, I think that's your running game in Florida. I am not convinced that I'm definitely not convinced that C.J. Baxter will be back. That feels like for a hamstring injury, really probably unlikely. Chase Daniel made a really interesting comment tonight about, and Chase Daniel, the commentator on ESPN, couldn't have been any more open about how many people he spoke with. It was like, I spoke with Colt McCoy for 5 hours, and then I sat with Arch for an hour, and then he was talking to everybody. He made a comment about the running backs and the injuries. He did not say they expect to have these guys back by Florida and Oklahoma, and tonight is a little bit of a one-off. He said, after talking to people, it sounds like they hope to have these guys back for the home stretch of the SEC schedule.
Interesting.
I'm sorry.
Did you say home stretch? Did you say
the word that he used?
Yeah.
But that's paraphrasing what he said.
Okay.
And the SEC schedule hasn't started yet. It was not
right.
He did not say these guys are expected to be back in the next. We know that hamstring injuries are hamstring injuries. My God, Jonah Williams still coming back, and Emmett Mosley still coming back. That's funny. So I think the run game tonight, I think this is probably, maybe it's different for OU. Maybe 3 weeks is enough that somebody can come back. But this may be what they have to lean on in the Florida game. They may need Jarrett Gibson and Christian Clark and a little bit of James Simon to go a long way in Gainesville. And I don't know. It was okay. The running game was okay tonight, but that was in the back of my
number
mind.
2 what?
264, 4 touchdowns. Clark and Gibson were both at 4.8 yards a carry. Matthew Caldwell, 50 yards a carry. Not bad there. James
Well,
Simon.
his ass on a reverse, Jason.
James Simon was 5.6 yards per carry. So yeah, they ran the
Jet
ball
sweep to Caldwell.
effectively. But again, I mean, if you can't run the ball effectively in this game, you might as well
Right.
throw the run game away.
All right, let's grab a super chat here. Not to start with a small number, but there's an accusation being made, so let's clear this up. James 199, Jason looks saucy. Those drinks flowing.
There's
Jason.
been like 4 comments. Jack and Boucher, I have had nothing but water.
I don't think you look saucy.
Is it tea and water? Is that all it is?
I don't know. No, just water tonight. Usually tea.
I am sitting right next.
There's like 4 comments like, Jason, do your ABCs. I'm like, what?
I'll tell you what this is, people. This is good, old-fashioned manual labor. Jason Sukamel has been working today. I can tell.
Oh, I did do yard work before
right?
I came up to
You told me you did yard work.
Yes.
There's a little. Also, he's sitting next to my pale white ass, and that's
what I was going to say is that
more red. Right? It's the contrast.
Oh, it's freaking hot.
The light is hitting me.
Jason, what I was going to say is I can tell the lights they've got the lights on you guys, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Your problem is the lights flash on you and your face is full of color.
Yeah.
Right.
You're
Because
sitting next to the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man's distant cousin.
Exactly. Right. Uncle Fester over here
He is white.
is not helping this guy
No,
out.
so I'm just saying, everybody.
2 shirts and like, I didn't play. It's kind of toasty in here a little bit. So
I can vouch that Jason has not. We'd tell you if he had.
I'm not going to say I won't have a midnight beer or 2 when I go home.
I mean, Chad's had a few on this show before. It's okay.
Neither of us have today, but we would tell you if we had. All right, I'm just grabbing a couple.
People were drinking on the unwrapping show yesterday, so like we've broken that territory before.
Oh yeah, if y'all haven't seen the unwrapping show, the celebration show on Friday, please go watch that and listen for the moment when Anwar decides it is time to unload on a legendary NFL Super Bowl winning quarterback. That was a lot of fun.
And a current starting, like
yeah,
everybody got some.
Everybody got some yesterday. $4.99 from James. Anwar and Jason need to get off OU's jock. That offense isn't doing anything against this defense. 32 rushing at home.
That offense can still throw the ball, and that defense looks really good. So, James, that's going to be a tough game.
I was up at like 3:30 this morning. So I took a shower at 6:30, right before the game started, because I didn't want to be, nodding off in the fourth quarter of a 55-0 game. And while I was in the shower, it dawned on me, neither of these offenses scored 17 on the other. Like, it will probably be, and I say this, and I think it might be advantage Oklahoma right now, just in this one department. Because I think Texas has the better defense, but I think Oklahoma right now has a more playmaking defense. And as I'm looking at that game in a few weeks in Dallas, points are going to be at a premium. And Oklahoma loses by double digits today at home to Auburn. If there's not about a half dozen things that go their way that you could argue just should not have gone their way. And the least of which wasn't a fumble, scoop, and score that proved to be a 10-point play that I'm just not convinced you can convince me either way that there's like indisputable evidence either way. Like it just felt like that's the call that had this. But like OU got all of the calls today. They got all of the breaks. Illegal play, no problem. Touchdown, no big deal. Pass interference after pass interference after pass interference, no big deal. But it's going to be really competitive. The thing that OU, this is why I think OU is going to lose 4 games at least this season. Their offensive personnel sucks. Like against in that game today, they couldn't get out of the phone booth. Matter of fact, basically the only vertical play that they could hit the whole day was that beautiful ball that Mateer threw to Burks, who they overturned that call, the one they had originally called incomplete, and then they called it a catch. Beautiful throw. But everything is old school Oklahoma screens and underneath and short. And by the end of the game, Auburn was sitting on those routes, and they weren't giving up anything. And I'm watching that game, and I'm like, at one point, one of the announcers talked about how great the OU offensive skill personnel was. And it was like, what the fuck are you talking about? They can't run the ball at all, and they don't have a receiver that can get like stretch defenses beyond 10 or 15 yards. But the defense is really good, and we knew that about them. And Texas still has a lot of work to do before you can give them any benefit of the doubt against that Oklahoma defense. I think both of those defenses are going to be elite, and it just feels like that game may be won by a big play on defense or special teams. Now, at least Texas tonight, Ryan Niblett kind of emerges. I don't know if we can say a Sam Houston State game is a breakout game, but I don't know why it took until week 4, Jason, for that guy to catch the pass that he caught and ran however long it was, 40 yards, whatever it was. It was like, hey, man, that dude's fast. Like
you've been asking for a jet sweep to Niblett for weeks.
I mean, he was a captain tonight. And there was a part of me that was like, Sark, I know that you like him. You mentioned it this week, like you appreciate that Ryan Niblett didn't leave. But that dude hasn't done anything ever. He was a captain tonight, has literally never made a play in his career. And I thought,
he had a couple punt returns last week, right? Decent ones.
It was decent.
Huge.
oh,
Nothing
I'm
big.
sorry, you're right.
Nothing big.
I mean, I don't know if that's why they made him captain.
Captain status because he didn't fumble the ball on a punt return. No, I mean, but I felt like tonight he played like a captain. Maybe that like put a shot of adrenaline in him or something. But there were some guys that did some things tonight that needed to be done. I kind of liked it. My prize picks didn't like it because Parker Livingston finished 11 yards short of where I needed him to be. But it was good that guys that hadn't otherwise – DeAndre Moore, it's not been a good start to the season for him.
If it hadn't been for the Wingo thing, that would have been the thing that would have excited me the most. I've been talking about 0s and 1s, 0 and 1 on offense. Both look great tonight.
5 catches on 5 targets. So productive, effective, efficient. Yeah.
This really was about as good as you could hope for. And no real fresh injuries, knock on wood. Like I don't remember seeing. There were a bunch of guys that didn't play tonight that it's kind of surprising that they pitched a shutout. They were down some guys in the secondary. Kobe Black didn't play. Warren Roberson didn't play. Xavier Filsaime didn't play. You get to the third and fourth quarters and the guys that would have been coming into the game as the backup guys, now you were playing the backup guys to the backup guys. And yet there's nothing that you can really nitpick. If I would nitpick anything, it might be that I actually would like to have seen the running game be a little bit better. That it was better in the first half than it was in the second half. But I'm watching the running game tonight, and I'm asking myself, will that work against Oklahoma or Florida the next time Texas suits up and maybe needs that group of linemen with those groups of running backs to replicate exactly what they did tonight? And I'm more convinced that Arch will be okay against Florida, enough to win. I don't know that he's going to put up 300 yards, but I think he'll be okay. I'm probably more worried about the running game going into Gainesville than anything else, although Florida is so bad on offense. Texas should win that game. It will take an absolute disaster class by the Texas offense in order for them to lose that game, because that Florida offense, to steal a phrase from Mr. Sukum, from Alex Dunlap, that's as cockamamie as PFF.
Whoa, DJ Lagway, 12 of 23, 61 yards passing on 23 attempts. Hey, no interceptions this week. I guess that is
brutal.
Up,
Jason, for Texas, the longest rush today individually, what was it?
Let me get to that. Sorry.
Well, running back division, right?
Yeah.
James other than the Caldwell play, yeah.
And the Wingo one.
And the Wingo
James
play.
Simon, 16 yards.
Wow.
Gibson, 13.
Still not
Clark,
a 20-yard
12.
run. I was wondering, so still not a 20-yard run for a running back.
Yeah. I mean,
like I said, I would have liked to have seen just one time this season. Can somebody break off like a 40-yarder and run it into the end zone, and it'd be like, oh, that's what it looks like when the blocking works and the running back is fast and nobody can catch him.
Once we get to this game, guys, I'm going to ask y'all to think about the group of receivers and running backs we'll watch in the Texas OU game. When's the last time it looked like it's going to look this year? That running back group, all of them, especially if Ketch is right about Wisner and Baxter. Just the group, there's just not a dynamic badass. We always say
we're healthy. They're not dynamic.
We always say you can put your signature on that game, right? It can become the Stoney Clark game or the whatever. Running backs have made it their game. I'm not sure who the heck could do it out of all those guys.
I think Wisner can if he's healthy. And I don't think Ketch said it. He's alluding to Chase Daniels, basically. It's like insinuating that Wisner might not be ready to be. You got a week off, and I got to think Wisner. And then you got Florida.
He got hurt in the middle of 2 weeks ago. So he's got a hamstring injury.
Yeah.
It's been 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, it'll be 4 weeks. Now, that's not to say that he won't play in the Florida game. But
I think it was a fairly minor hamstring injury.
No such thing as they're always a month. They're always 4 to 6 weeks. And the thing is, if you bring him back for Florida after 4 weeks and he re-aggravates that thing, that might be him. That's the thing about hamstrings. It's not, if you're playing on a high ankle sprain, it hurts. It's going to hurt. You're going to do things to hurt it, but you don't constantly play through like an ankle sprain or a high ankle sprain. And it's bad. It is really messed up. It's almost hard to make it worse. Hamstrings are so different. It's like, I think it's starting to feel better. I think I'm going to try to run. Another 4 weeks. That's where I'm at. Like, Jason, you're not wrong. You would think with 2 more weeks, he's got a chance. But I just wonder, how close cutting it. If you knew that if you gave him 1 more week, he could play against Oklahoma, wouldn't you sit him against Florida?
Maybe.
Probably. I don't think you need him to win.
You'd think I'd seriously think about it. And maybe Sandman's right in the chat. Maybe the best running back in that game will be John Mateer. But I was talking about just the running back position.
Mateer sucks, man.
Wow. Okay.
He doesn't suck. But Oklahoma should have lost today. And a big part of it was because he's a really good college player, but he's not elite.
Yeah. And
they don't have elite personnel to go along with him. And, I think everybody overreacted to the Michigan game because I think today was a better look at – they do that. They play like that in future weeks in the SEC. They'll just lose. Doesn't matter who it is. They weren't – other than on the defensive side of the ball. And look, man, hey, if you're a Texas fan, walk – out of that game tonight thinking to yourself, at least we don't have Auburn's offensive line. Those guys were terrible.
Yeah.
OU had so many sacks in that game. They were declining sacks and taking penalties because they were like, we'll get it in 2 plays. We'll break that record. Don't worry.
All right, we got a lot of super chats. Let's grab Tom G. $20 opposing side. Seeing Arch throw on time and in rhythm was very noticeable. OU will be tough, but let's see our boys against Florida D. If they hang 24 plus, I will feel much better.
I'm almost always in agreement with Tom. That's about how I feel. Arch was in rhythm and he had time and it was easy today. Let's see him do it against Florida. I'm not saying they need to go hang 40 on Florida, but I think they get 24, 27,
Florida
30.
If they score 40.
Then I think you should feel really good coupled with what we saw today, because today was good. Today was really good, but it could be like, okay, yeah, but it's Sam Houston. That doesn't mean it's going to be good moving forward.
Right.
They go out and get 24, 27, 30 against a decent Florida defense. Then I think you can look at the other games on the schedule and say, okay, this is going to be all right.
So, Catch, I threw this out earlier. Tom's throwing it out now. I guarantee you Texas will score 24 points exactly in every game they play. What happens the rest of the year if that's true? 24. They beat everybody but Georgia. They beat everybody and Georgia.
I think they'll get to a national semifinal.
Okay. Yeah.
They will.
This defense, y'all.
I don't think they're going to give up 20-plus points in only a handful of games this year.
Who is scoring 25 on this group? I don't know.
And they, you know what? They kind of remind me of I don't want to use a soccer metaphor, but they're one of these units. They haven't clicked yet. They're still like, they haven't given up any point. There's another level for them to go. And I'm looking at a guy like Jelani McDonald, and it's like, holy hell, that guy might be special, and we just don't know it yet. That
might be.
I don't mean athletically. Like,
okay.
And
I saw that play at the end of the half.
I don't mean he has the potential to be special. I mean, he might have just turned into special, and all we need to see is more of an evidence of work to go, oh, we blinked and he became a first-round draft pick. That's what it looks like when a 5-star guy has the light switch flip on, like that guy. And Colin Simmons, outside of that first play of the game, he wasn't like silent, but it was a weird game. Texas had,
Sam Houston ran 51 plays. Okay.
Wow.
And you pulled your starters. So you're not going to fill up the stat sheet, but
what, it was 2 sacks, 6 tackles for loss.
Texas had 5 sacks, 10 tackles for the team. Yeah. And I think a lot of them were in junk time.
Colin
Simmons had the 1 sack that he was credited with. That's the only tackle he was credited with in the whole game.
And the 1 turnover was McDonald. Is that true? The whole game?
That's the only turnover was the Hail Mary.
Jelani kept the stat going. 20 straight home games, forcing a turnover.
So it was just a weird game. It's not that those guys played poorly. There just weren't a lot of opportunities to fill up the stat sheet. But I would have thought maybe another turnover or two would have been nice. You had the 1 Hail Mary interception, but we're going to nitpick.
There wasn't the strip sack. We didn't see the picks. We haven't seen that yet from this defense. The creating points, and they created the turnovers in week 2 after not doing it in week 1, and so. But there's still, Anthony Hill hasn't had a breakout yet, and no offense to Colin Simmons and the fact that he now has a sack, and I guess it gets him up to 1.5 for the season, but he hasn't really had a breakout yet. So this is still an amazingly talented defense. And oh, by the way, Texas linebackers are. I don't want to say I was a Leonga Lafau hater, but I thought he was kind of a jag last year. I would do these all 22 articles, and I would compare the Texas players to other teams. I only did it a few times. You do it against Oklahoma or A&M or Georgia or whomever. And I always felt like Lafau last year was one of the lowest rated starters of anybody on the team, that you get into these battles of this. Is this the guy you would pick or the other team's guy? And Lafau just didn't make any plays. He's having a great season. And if he wasn't, Ty Anthony Smith might take his job because he's excellent. And I think this Texas linebacker unit might be playing better as a unit than they did a year ago. And I don't think Anthony Hill's playing anywhere near as well as he did. So, boy, if they can we got to stop saying it, right? We're now 4 games into the season. You can't say forever, it's going to, once it starts clicking, sometimes it just never clicks. But they have the pieces. The pieces are there. And if they can start to click, again, there's a level for this group that's already not giving up first downs and not giving up a ton of points and doesn't do a lot of bend. They just stop teams. That's their Achilles heel. Is not that they can't create turnovers. Is that they're stopping teams so soon that they're not getting enough plays to create turnovers. So, if you're a Texas football fan, you asked it, Chad. Nobody should have overreacted from them. This was always – everybody struggled this month. I watched this game, and I thought about the week that Ohio State had after they played Texas, where it was like, everybody's meandered around against somebody unless you're Oregon. Mm-hmm. But I think that Texas is going to be all right now moving forward. I don't know that means they're going to be elite. I don't know that means they're the number 7 team in the country, but I think their floor is probably 9-3. I don't think Florida can beat them unless Texas plays an absolutely atrocious game. And then once you get beyond that, Oklahoma's a losable game. A&M in Austin, probably that's going to be super competitive. I've seen A&M teams come into Austin and win games they shouldn't have before.
Well, what you just did, Catch, was very telling because you just skipped over in your mind. You just skipped over Mississippi State, Kentucky, Arkansas, and Vanderbilt.
Yeah, for sure.
After what you saw today, if there was any issues there. No, but I'm saying, but just to make sure, as the game ends today.
I've never been in a position where I thought they would ever come close to losing any of those games.
Okay, so right now, when you start looking at it, you're in the Oklahoma, Georgia, and A&M. Those are the three now that are blinking at you.
Look, they're going to lose to Georgia. Although, God, they're so good on D. That's probably like a 17-13 game too. Like they're going to have a couple of these coin flip games because of the defense.
Mm-hmm.
And look, let's say they lose to Georgia. There's 2 losses. Those Oklahoma A&M games, if we called them both 50-50, right, just for the sake of math, then Texas wins 1. Can they win both 50-50 games and make the playoffs? Or do they lose one of those 50-50 games? Did the math kind of work out like the math works? You lose one of those, and now you're a 9-3 team, and you don't. But I kind of think that that's about as bad as it'll be. It's not that would be a low-key disaster season, but not like people have been talking about in the last couple of weeks. So I think today just helps restore a little bit of normalcy. And I also think we looked around college football today and went, Florida sucks. Okay, well, they're next. Whatever Florida is, they're not a team to be afraid of. And then I think that if you were a Texas fan that maybe didn't watch the Michigan game closely, because Mateer wasn't that great in that game, I think you probably watched today because of the timing of the games, right? You got to watch, you got to sit down and watch Oklahoma. And you watch that offense and you were like, oh, yeah, the Texas defense can murder these dudes.
Catch, when I watched that game today, I put those 2 teams kind of in a bucket with Florida. I think of Auburn, Oklahoma, and Florida kind of in the same terms, in terms of it can be ugly at times. It doesn't always. It doesn't
murder Florida, dude.
What's that?
Oklahoma would murder Florida.
It's just, I don't know, the way those.
I don't think Florida's. I have had Auburn ranked really highly on my. I really respect their roster.
Right.
They should have beaten Oklahoma in Norman today. They should have.
On roster. When does production matter? I don't care if they got 5-star receivers. Their quarterback sucks.
Jason, you want to do this again now? Because I don't know that your Oklahoma argument from a few days ago still holds as much water.
Hey, they beat an Auburn team it's got credible players, according to you. They beat them by 7. So they tier 3 for 280 yards.
Did you think Oklahoma was the better team today?
Admittedly, I listened to some of it on the radio, so I didn't watch all of it. But from what I saw, yeah, I thought they had the better quarterback play for sure.
They should have lost by double digits.
No, that's ridiculous.
No, they literally had a 10-point swing on a play that
I saw that one. And I saw the pass interference.
The game.
That's called football, dude.
There's an illegal pass play that goes for a touchdown that is only allowed because of incompetence by an SEC officiating crew.
Here's one thing I know.
They would have scored anyways.
Yeah, one thing I know today. Oklahoma's the people at OU are thinking, now that's what we expected when we stamped SEC on our field, is to get those kind of calls in Norman. Deadgummit.
I mean, you know what? If I was Auburn, first of all, if I was Hugh Freeze, you'd have had to find me. I'd just been like, you know what? Take that shit direct deposit just straight out of my bank account.
You'd have flipped out on me.
I have stuff I need to say. And every time a call went against Auburn, they showed his face on the sideline. And he was just incredulous at the end. Like,
yep.
What the fuck is basically what his face said for an hour.
Right.
At one point, his receivers are getting tackled in the end zone. The official is literally there. No flag.
Yeah.
Well, the official had his back turned because his dumbasses thought he was going to get run over.
He was right there.
Yeah, he was there, but he had his back turned to the play and he missed it. But everybody said Jackson Arnold.
Flip
Arnold had a better QBR, but Arnold missed some wide open.
Arnold sucks. That's my point.
Well, I'm saying people in the chat are saying Arnold had the better day. I'm like, dude, did you actually watch him? He had guys wide open downfield.
He was awful. If he sticks to throw, he's got Coleman streaking into the end zone wide open by 5 yards. If he sticks that throw, they win the game. But he doesn't. And, like, at the end of the day, look, Arch will have to play better than Jackson Arnold did. And if he can't, they won't win. But I thought at worst that was a 50-50 game today in Norman, at worst. And OU had a significant quarterback advantage. I think Matera's good. I think their running backs are trash. It's why Torrey Blaylock is having to carry so much of the load as a true freshman. They got nobody else. And at least he gives you a little bit of speed. But I'll tell you right now, that was a guy that Texas looked at as a recruit, and they were like, no, we're good. That guy would have gone to Texas. He loved Texas early in the recruiting process. He was rated really highly. But the more teams and schools kind of recruited him, the more he wasn't a true national prospect, and Texas went elsewhere. That's a guy they just – and I don't think – I think he's okay. Those receivers, if Texas gets had by those dudes, don't even come back to Austin. To do what they've done against Ohio State twice and then to play those bums, you can't let them dudes. Look, Deion Burks will probably catch like 4 passes for 50 yards. He might score their only touchdown offensively or their only passing touchdown. But those dudes are not good. And they weren't good today against Auburn. And I'm telling you right now, this Texas defense has better personnel than Auburn.
We're talking about how great Wingo was. Sategna was 9 for 127. That's not in a touchdown. That's not good. Isaiah Sategna, the OU receiver.
No,
that's not good.
No, I didn't say they weren't productive because they worked the middle of that.
All right, whatever. This is Auburn. Not an OU hype show.
But no, I don't think that guy's any good, really.
All right, let's do this.
Completely honest.
Let's do this. We got 15 super chats. Don't send any more super chats. We're going to clean these super chats off before we get out of here.
He ain't as good as the 2 A&M guys from the portal.
Not even close. No.
Let's give Specs their love for you guys in the Specs chat, and then we will hit these super chats.
Texans know for selection and lower prices, it all starts at Specs. Shop Specs! With all your favorites on tap, you'll bring home the win. Boots on, drinks up. The fun starts here. Shop Specs!
All right, here we go. 15 super chats, and it starts with Darian. $4.99. Texas offense is back? Question mark.
For a week and a half, and then we'll see. And then we'll see
good, right? Look good tonight. Did the things they needed to do. Felt good. Lots of confidence. Patrick,
$5. Don't be Sam Ellinger tonight. Don't do that, guys. Come on.
Yeah, no, definitely don't need to do that. But whatever Arch thought he had, he told Chase Daniel, looked pretty good. Texas offense looked pretty good. Confidence building game. Penalties are going to cost us games if we don't get them fixed. What was the penalty number?
Yeah, they did have 9 for 70.
Okay.
So those penalties, they keep getting right around that double-digit mark.
Mac would always talk about, the percentage of penalties that are, offensive administration and all that. There's a certain number of penalties you can live with. I don't love it to be up at 9. I'd like it to be more of in a 6 kind of neighborhood. So, yes, Patrick, they probably need to contain that a little bit. That could cost you, of course.
Yeah.
I think bad football teams commit tons of penalties, and it's a horrible trait, so
it's happening every single week. If it happens once in game 1 or a couple times, okay, then you clean it up. But it's 4 times is it all 4? At least 3 games.
They're the most penalized team in the SEC right now. So
yeah. I would think so.
Yeah, they're sloppy, and you can't pack sloppy. Don't pack penalties. It's just a horrible way to do business.
Who was super chat? Was that Patrick?
Yes.
Patrick's right. Like, you keep doing that every week, and there will be a week where you lose, and you look at it, and you go, well, that 12 penalties for 125 yards, that really hurt us. And it was like, yeah, we lost by 3. That really hurt us.
I'll give you a reason. That's one of the ways that a game in Starkville can go from a game you shouldn't have to worry about to a game you might have to sweat a little bit.
Turnovers.
Put 10 or 11 penalties out there in Starkville and see what happens, right? Let those cowbells cost you like 4 or 5 bad false start moments.
Well, now
see
you're
what happens.
describing the Alabama Vanderbilt game from a year ago, right? You just
Yeah,
junk it up just enough,
yeah.
and
Now,
the right team in the SEC on the wrong day can do some stuff to you.
Now, to be fair, Catch, until I'm dead, I will point out, if you're going to play that game, you also have to let the other team have the ball for 42 minutes, Bama fans. Come on. That happened too.
Hey,
They didn't.
who won the South Carolina-Missouri game?
Missouri, right? In the
yeah,
end?
Missouri closed it out.
They
Yeah.
closed it out. Missouri. And they
final score for you here now.
They outrushed South Carolina like right at 300 yards to negative something. It was silly that it was a close game.
Wow.
But I think it was Missouri that got it
was
done.
26-26, I think it was.
29-20 Missouri.
Yeah, 29-20. Pull up the rushing numbers, Jason, for the team. Where did it end?
-9 for South Carolina, 285 for Missouri. So I don't know how that happened.
Boys, that's nasty, and it was a 9-point game. How is it 9 points if you do that?
How did the South Carolina and Clemson? Think about how those two teams both finished the season last year.
Right.
Both of them. Abject messes.
Playoff race. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, both of them just trucking last year, and you're right. Now it's just bizarre. Nice win for Missouri, though.
Year, and it was like, don't want to play Clemson, don't want to play South Carolina. That state's on suicide watch.
Yeah, and we were talking about Missouri here. That's a nice win for Missouri. They're undefeated. They've got Alabama and A&M coming to them this year. Missouri gets to kind of, decide.
That's a game I've been giving the Aggies probably in
the
preseason. That's a game I would have been like, that's a W,
Also, Missouri plays OU late in the year, and I think it's in Norman. I think they go to Norman. So that's
probably a game that I've been like, I think they'll lose some games, but that's one I'll give them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's an interesting one. Wait, did I get this one out?
I think Missouri probably beats Oklahoma in Norman today.
$4.99. I think you might be right. Oscar, also CDC finally figured out the fourth quarter with Django Walker to start it. Really? Did this happen tonight? Thunderstruck is gone. Django Walker. There's a track that they played in the fourth quarter. I love the idea. Catch, would you happen to know what song this might be referencing? I don't know. Okay. Hey, Oscar, I just want y'all to find something you love, because I've heard from Longhorn fans that can't stand the Thunderstruck idea. So I hope you get something you like. Maybe Django Walker's the way to go. It's a good vibe. It feels right in my head, at least. $4.99 from James. The biggest takeaway: Arch looked accurate, timely, and upbeat. Arch off limited time. Oh wait, Arch of limited time last year. God, he needed that. Yes,
agree on all of it, James. He needed that badly. You could just see. I mean, I've never seen Arch so animated in celebrations, right, on the sidelines in the end zone. So you could tell it was a big weight off of his shoulders.
And Catch, I know you referenced the moment with him and the Sam Houston guy. In a way, I mean, it reminded me of the touchdown in College Station. It's like when Arch scores a touchdown, it just really gets him going. It sends electricity through him. And the little bow-up thing, I don't know. It felt like it put energy in the team. The teammates were giving him love the rest of the night, and everything just kind of rolled from there. So, hell, even if they'd flagged him for it, I think it ends up being worth it for whatever they got out of tonight.
Oh, for sure.
The
thing about Arch is I thought he was throwing the ball like crap early in the game. He was throwing the ball low. He was still throwing the ball low. His mechanics were better. He wasn't quite as rushed as we've seen him, but he was still like, it seemed like short arming the ball. And some of them were getting caught, but his receivers were still it was still like, Arch, stop throwing ground balls to your receivers. But he worked his way through that. And then, second, third quarters, all of that really dissipated. And I thought he threw a number of balls. The ball that he connects with Wingo, the deep ball for the touchdown.
That was nice.
I think that's the most important play of the season so far. Wingo needed that. Arch needed that. It felt like something that can be replicated, and it feels like we've watched a lot of football between those two guys this year, where we've thought to ourselves, hey man, whatever you do, don't replicate that. But this, more of that, please. And I think that it's weird that we would be almost bubbly over the Sam Houston thing, but we've thought the last couple of weeks that these types of performances would be embedded in a win over San Jose State and a win over UTEP, and they weren't. And so maybe those games would have been what tonight is had it occurred earlier. that they had this moment of success doesn't mean that everybody needs to start predicting national championship or a Heisman finalist position for Arch. But I didn't think it does let the air out of the balloon a little bit with the negativity. And this team can now, for 2 weeks, I think Florida is the team that goes into the game in Gainesville with a ton of pressure. Like they're the ones that will feel that. And I think there's a world out there where both of those teams enter the game with a lot of pressure. And who the hell knows how that plays out? I think Texas will be in a good position here. You'll have a more relaxed, confident Arch. This team will feel better about itself. That Florida game seems so scary 2 months ago. They look like a pack of bums right now. And whatever people have said about Arch Manning in the last few weeks, save some of that smoke for DJ Lagway, because he was supposed to take the step this year, just like Arch was. He was a 5-star quarterback, top 5 in the country. And look, maybe he'll light Texas's ass up. Who knows? But for that guy to turn in the performance that he did in Miami tonight, and for that team to be in the position that they're in, that coach is going to get fired. There have been rumors that Lagway might not play against Texas. Did you see that on the board, Jason?
Yeah, he's going to transfer to A&M or something.
Well, right. I don't know that any of that's on the table. Yeah. But if I was Lagway, that coaching staff is dead. Coaching staff walking.
Who's going to
would not waste my season of eligibility. If you're Lagway and you're like, I only came to Florida because I want to play with this coach. If you have enough common sense to realize it's not working, it's not happening, and this joker's not going to be here in January, who exactly am I giving up my full season of eligibility for? No. I would be selfish, and I'd get the hell out of Gainesville. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but if I was DJ Lagway tonight, I would be asking myself some questions about what the hell is my future in Gainesville. That coaching staff is not going to make it. They probably shouldn't have made it. I'm telling you, Florida may be the team that has the most pressure on its back in any game that Texas plays all season. I think if Texas goes in and beats them, that's 3 straight losses for Florida. That's it. He might not make it to the end of the season. So their sphincters are going to be tight as fists. And I think Texas has been that way for the last couple of weeks. I think they came in tonight a little bit like that, which is why Arch starting some stuff in the end zone, like it worked as an exhale moment that this team needed. And Florida desperately needs that. And the question is there any chance in hell that they pull that off against Texas? Like against that defense, are they going to find themselves, or is Texas going to play so poorly that they let Florida into a game? And it kind of happened tonight in Miami. Like Florida hung around, and it was 13-7. And it was like, how in the hell is this a game in the second half? If Texas F's around and finds out, that could happen.
Yeah, the Florida defense will drag you into ugly games. Their offense can't get out of them, but the defense will get you to play ugly. Like
that's why Texas playing well tonight really mattered, because I think Texas doesn't need to score 30 in that game. You asked me 24. I'll take some 24 right now.
24.
Florida ain't winning that game if Texas hits 24.
24 beats the Gators. Absolutely. I agree with you. Clay with a $4.99 catch. What up with your boy Klubnik?
Club Neck.
Club Neck. Club Neck.
Let me tell you what, Clay. I am not allowed to have nice things. And so when Ewers crashes out in the NFL draft in the 7th round and Klubnik is being talked about as a potential first number 1 overall pick, let me tell you what happened. I peacocked it a little too hard in the offseason. I peacocked it. I was like, who told you about Cade Klubnik? And in the end, look, I will never run from my horrible takes. There's so many of them that, like, you have to embrace them at some point. What's happened? What's up with him? They're terrible. That program was a little smoke and mirrors at the end of last season. And I think the mirror broke, and I think it's kind of revealing what they really are. I hope this isn't who Klubnik really is, but he's been awful. They've been awful.
Clay, thank you for the super chat. This one is an 11-11 super chat. Cash, thank you for that. Thanks, guys. Always love the show. We appreciate you. Also, another thanks, love the show of sorts. A nice $4.99 from Janet. Janet, thank you for that. We hope you had a great evening
Janet.
watching 55-0 double nickel. Bill with a $4.99. I know it's too early. Here we go, Bill. Way to go. Is the ceiling for this team the semifinals of the playoffs?
Ceiling is, listen, the ceiling is still winning the championship, national championship. That's still on the table. They're going to have to improve quite a bit, but with this defense, and if Arch can play a shell or a fraction of the way he played tonight, no, this team could still win it all.
Hey, I'm going to ask you guys both this question. Good question, Bill, because I'm going to flip this around. How many teams do we think have national championship upside right now? Who have you seen? Not that we'll win it, right? Like you could say Clemson has national championship upside if you believed it. They're not going to win it, but like who have you seen that you'll put on the small list of teams that you think today in a playoff format have the goods to potentially do it?
Ohio State, Oregon, and I'm going to tell you a wild card one. I think Florida State's got a dude. There may not be a team that's playing better than Florida State right now.
Interesting. My gut is the three we've already talked about and Oregon. Those are the four that pop in. The three normal, the usual suspects: Georgia, Ohio State, Texas.
What about Penn State?
Ask me again next week.
Ceiling, right? Because Drew Aller's ceiling is an NFL starting quarterback.
Let's give Penn State the respect that they're about to play Oregon. So, throw Penn State in. Let's throw Florida State in because Jason pointed it out. They're playing great. Let's throw them in too. And who's the other one that probably
LSU? No. Miami? No. Georgia? Okay.
Like the way the LSU defense plays, I want to put LSU in there. But then I see that offense. I just wonder with LSU. But, hey, collection of talent, Catch. You've taught us all well enough to know what that means. Maybe right now, I'd put LSU in the category because, Catch, I know you've talked about what you think might happen with LSU versus this team or that team. I'd love to see LSU against the best. I don't know if they get it done.
I think it's a shorter list. I think it may have like 5. I think you can count them all on one hand.
Right. Again, I start with those 4. I start with the 4 of the 3 and Oregon. If Texas plays after Texas plays like that tonight, I didn't think that waking up today.
Well, and they're all ahead of where Texas is right now.
Tonight,
if the tournament started tomorrow, Texas isn't making it to the Final Four, I don't think. But, there's so much football left. Mm-hmm. And, the thing that I was saying this week is Oklahoma's pretty good. But they're nobody to be afraid of.
No. Florida
certainly isn't. And so for all the doom and gloom of the last few weeks.
If you have that Texas defense, who are you playing that you're afraid of?
Nobody. Georgia, maybe. That game in Athens.
You're afraid. You're afraid to pack Colin Simmons, Anthony Hill, and that group. Jelani McDonald.
I'm afraid Texas get its ass kicked.
Oh, stop it.
Georgia kicked their ass in Austin last year. Did you not remember that the Quinn Ewers era essentially ended the night that he got benched because he never quite recovered from that?
Come on now, 15 points isn't an ass kicking. If they go to Athens and get beat by 15.
It wasn't an ass kicking?
No.
You care too much about the score because that was a goddamn ass kicking.
I wouldn't go that far.
What were the offensive stats for Texas?
I don't
they were like so bad.
I don't have the stats in front of me. I'm a 15-point game. I wouldn't call ass kicking.
They made that man bench his quarterback.
They controlled the game. 2 full scores. Nice, impressive win. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't go that far.
They slapped Texas around like Texas didn't belong on the same field with them.
All right, fair enough. 199 for Taylor. How's OU better playmaking defense? No turnovers on the
accurate?
year.
I don't have the stats in front of me. That's crazy.
They dropped like 5 picks today.
Interesting.
But I watched that and kept thinking, it's funny, Taylor? You would see that and think to yourself, well, I don't know if that stat's right, but maybe it is. 0 turnovers on the year. But I watched them today, just today. They got to the quarterback 10 times. I don't know how the hell they didn't strip Jackson Arnold on 5 of them. Like, his ball security, considering they were like jumping on his back.
Hey, one thing we know, Catch, after today, every Oklahoma coach, player, and fan can explain to you why Jackson Arnold is wearing an Auburn uniform. They can all explain it very clearly.
I don't think this has today's stats included, but yeah, they coming into today, no turnovers.
Well,
but they were in a position to make just a ton of them. So, I think we've been talking about the Texas defense in the same light. They're not tonight. This wasn't a big play defensive performance.
I mean, one turnover on a Hail Mary interception.
Yeah,
that probably should have been knocked down, but Jelani's like, I'm getting that stat. I'm getting that interception.
I like both of these defenses. If you could give me one of them, I'd take Texas's. And I think it's an interesting game in Dallas.
Oklahoma's got some weaknesses in his back end.
The way the OU defense has looked and some of the plays they've made, it makes it a more interesting game to me. But I think they just have a couple people here and there. I feel like Texas is a better unit.
I agree.
Overall.
The problem is neither of these teams can run the ball worth a crap, I think, against the other. So
you're
going to be
back to the running back.
one-dimensional. Although both teams, you can't say that Mateer gives OU a better running threat at quarterback than Texas has with Arch. That's probably a wash. They're both.
That's fun now.
I think Arch is faster than Mateer.
But he's crafty though.
When's the last time we watched Texas OU and wanted to see the two quarterbacks run this much? Really, both of them.
The thing about Mateer's like the Walt Garrison of quarterbacks, right? It's like if you need 10 yards, he'll get you 10 yards. But if you need 25 yards, he'll get you 10 yards. He's not taking it to the house on you, but he can turn an ugly play into a pretty one and move that stick. I think crafty's a good word. He's got some Diego Pavia in him as a runner where it's just like he knows what he's doing. I question whether or not he'll survive the season.
Yeah.
But we always talk about it in that game, guys. Just moving the sticks is twice as important in Dallas because the stadium goes half nuts on every single play. What Mateer and Arch do with their feet in that game is critical, not just because it is anyway, but because neither of them has a badass running back right now that we know for sure you can hand the ball to 20 times and say, go be a legend. That's just not – he ain't playing in this game. I can't think of who it might be. You said it might be Wisner. If he's right, healthy, if he's ready, maybe. That's the only one.
Yeah. I feel like if Wisner plays in that game in Dallas, he's probably getting half the snap count. You're not having that guy come off of a hamstring and go back to playing 60% of the reps in the run game. So it really makes what happened tonight important. It felt like they treated Jarrett Gibson like the starting running back.
Mm-hmm.
In fact,
he got the most carries.
He got to 10 carries, and then they never put him back in the game.
Clark got 13. Gibson got 11.
Yeah. 13 to 11. Okay,
so Gibson was on 10 for a long time, and then it just felt like that he finished with 11. I must have missed when he came back in and got that one carry. But I had to go back into my article and update the stats. They're wrong, as it turns out. Did you guys see, did you watch? Did anybody tonight make you think they're good for 80 yards in Gainesville?
80 yards as a running back, you're saying? 80-yard running back.
15 carries, 16 carries, 80 yards.
No, because I've
not
seen
that. They couldn't do that against UTEP and Sam Houston. They're not going to do that against Florida.
And because I've seen them play and I've seen this Florida defense play enough, even though Florida's offense hangs them out to dry all the time. Those Florida guys stand up, man. They will stand up and they'll be tough. I see like a 60-65 maybe, but I don't see an 80 guy.
The other thing is when Texas and Florida played last year, Texas beat them bad.
Right.
I wonder how they are going to approach.
Yeah. And last year we were saying, well, they didn't have a quarterback. Well, what's the different story this year?
Well, now come on. Now. The situation Florida was pushed into last year is truly unique. But
that wasn't the only thing that happened that day.
It wasn't. But
remember that was Isaiah Bond came back for 5 minutes. He was healthy and end arounds and catching passes, and it was like, oh yeah, that's what it looks like when the super fast guy's back on the field with that other super fast guy.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this: if there was one thing One player that didn't have a really good game, I don't even know what that means. Subjectively, I'll let you guys decide. But you could have turned it up a notch for him just to make today a little bit better. Does anybody come to mind?
Jack Endries was a non-factor.
Are you worried about him, though, at all?
No, I'm not worried about. Well, if he's healthy, no.
Is there anybody that you're worried about, like that needed a game today?
It's a bit of a nitpick catch, but I really felt like Bo Meester needed some rhythm, and he didn't get it today.
He did not.
What?
He was out of rhythm.
Is that sarcasm?
I just felt like, did he even play, Jason?
No, he didn't.
No.
Right? He felt invisible to me in this
You think
game.
that's going to be? You think he's going to be rusty next time he goes out? Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like that. Yeah, I mean, I think Jason's is probably the one catch because that we had seen Endries as a weapon, and you saw him in plenty of the motion type situations. But yeah, getting him a catch or two might have been the one thing I would probably bring up.
I think I would.
Who do you think?
I think I would take Jarrett Gibson, who was okay, right? Like we're nitpicking here because there really, I don't think is an obvious, nobody played bad.
You would have dialed up a running back.
I would have, if I think I came out of the game thinking they're treating Jarrett Gibson in this game like he's he came out with the starters. He had the lion's share of the carries early in that game in the first half. He had 10. He was getting 2 and 3 to 1. I mean, James Simon wasn't even in the picture until the second half. So it was Christian Clark and Jarrett Gibson, and Gibson was dominating the majority of the carries early in the game. So it makes me think that going into Gainesville, if Trey Wisner is limited at all or is out entirely, that Gibson's the main back that day. And, oh, by the way, he'll be going home to the state of Florida, and it'll be a homecoming for him.
Right.
All right, let's get through these super chats. I don't want to be until midnight.
I would just say I'd like to have seen him break off a 40-yarder.
All right. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, that's fair. Super chat $9.99 from Janet.
Janet's put in 2 with no comments.
Thank you, Janet. A couple no commenters there. We'll take it, but thank you, Janet. $20 from Tom G. Catch. May have an opportunity for you in for Dallas. Was October 16th, 50-yard line in a suite. If I can arrange it, are you up for it? Well, is this like a Texas OU thing?
No, Dallas, Washington.
Oh, right, October 16th. Okay,
Tom, it's 11:06 at night, and my brain isn't on the Cowboys, but that sounds awesome. So hit me up on Monday. Email me.
Okay, there you go, Tom G. Thank you for that. Austin,
wonderful though.
Austin with a $4.99. Long live the Corral. Congrats on the 100,000 K subs. Love the growth. Deepest defense we've seen. Could Jelani steal the Thorpe? And dude is going pro for sure. Okay, to the 2 questions. Deepest defense we've seen.
I think that's fair. I don't know, man. I mean, there's depth at every position, really. I mean, edge, interior defensive line, the linebackers, they've got some depth.
I don't think it's as good or as deep as the 2009 defense. Not from a playmaking standpoint yet. That team had Earl Thomas on it, and it felt like he had a pick 6 every week. I don't know. It's rarefied air that we're talking about those level of defenses. But if you're asking, is the deepest we've seen, I wouldn't say that yet. But by the end of the season, maybe. But they haven't played that well yet.
I don't even know what it takes to get the Thorpe committee's opinion or attention. But has Jelani done enough to get, those people buzzing?
4 weeks into the season. He's got 2 picks.
I don't know what the competition is.
Right.
If he has 7 interceptions in November, he'll be a finalist. If he has 2, he won't be.
What a silly vert that was on the interception. That was awesome, man. I could watch that play over and over again. ATX Bates, good grief. $4.99. Will the biggest key of the OU game be the emotional swings of that environment and how Arch reacts to it? I don't know if it's the biggest key, but it's a huge key. Every game,
how everybody reacts.
Yeah, how every quarterback and every player reacts. But yeah, Arch is obviously part of it.
Mateer hasn't played in this game either.
Exactly. These are 2 new quarterbacks in this environment. So, everybody has to deal with emotional swings in that game. But 2 new quarterbacks who've never experienced it, it's going to be key.
Yeah, that's going to be good stuff. Those 2 guys in that game playing in. All right, last one. Thank you for this. Don finishes us off. $19.99 catch. I sat and watched that OU game today after falling asleep on a boring OU game midway, and I do feel that Jackson Arnold gave that game away. And if Arch plays to this level tonight, I give us a slight edge in Dallas.
If Arch plays to the level he played tonight, they're not going to lose another game, man.
You got to remember, fellas, after the last 2 weeks, some Texas fans had convinced themselves that it went from Texas whips OU by 3 touchdowns to OU beats Texas by 3 touchdowns. We have to remember that. Some people went a little extreme.
I think the spread in Vegas is still 9.5.
Texas by 9.5.
I don't think that'll change it. I wondered after last week would it change, and it really didn't.
Yeah.
I doubt it changes after this weekend.
You wouldn't pull it to around a touchdown?
No.
Leave it where it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd put it probably like 6, maybe.
Go 6, 6.5, something like that.
I
maybe.
really think OU's offense is garbage. And it's almost nothing to do with Mateer. If he had Texas's weapons, like
if OU's offense is garbage, what is Texas's? I mean,
garbage.
Huh? What do you say? Garbage?
It's a garbage versus garbage matchup in Dallas.
What
All
part of me saying the first 1 to 17 wins, and it might be a defensive touchdown that wins the game?
I thought that was more credit to the defenses, but okay, yeah, fair enough.
And I'm just wondering if Florida gets the right game they want, are the next 2 weeks that kind of game? I think the next 2 weeks could live in the high teens into the 20s type of games.
They're going to beat Florida by double digits.
You
now,
think?
I don't know what the peak score of that is.
All right.
24-13, 27-13, something like that. We will do the postgame show in a couple of weeks, and Texas will beat Florida soundly.
Okay, here's the biggest concern I would have in the next 2 weeks. Off week thing you got to work on more than anything. You better get this offensive line ready to face Florida and Oklahoma. You better tell your 2 tackles that if
what
they don't
know how do you do that?
I don't know. If they don't know who number 32 is for Oklahoma, tell Brandon Baker and Trevor Gooseby to prepare themselves. And I want to see just from even little moments we saw in this game where I'm watching Sam Houston State get a little more pressure than I think they ought to be getting. I just want to know. I want to see that Texas offensive line stand up to the Florida front. If that starts to break up early, are we going to see Arch go back to a little more of a nervousness, a little more of the quick feet? He seemed really comfortable tonight. Does it stay the same in terms of the comfortability in these next 2 games? That's what I'm watching, the Texas offensive line over these next 2 games.
They can't run the ball, Chad, but they can pass protect pretty well. And I think we saw it against Ohio State. And I think I think from my perspective, looking at that OU game in 3 weeks, again, I think both teams can trash their running games. So, and I don't mean that means you have to throw it 50 times, but it probably means you have to adjust. You talked about it, Chad. What's a successful drive in that game? A couple of first downs.
Yep.
It's probably it.
Bomeister's huge in that game.
You
let him be.
Hold your serve. Don't give games away with like sloppiness. I'm using tennis metaphors now, Chad, but right. Like
it's late.
You said Bomeister, but didn't their punter hit like a 73-yarder? That one that dude caught at the one.
Yes.
It's like a 70-something yarder.
They flip a field.
Both these punters can flip.
Hey, Shipley. All that dude does is make field goals.
You know what's funny? I said tonight, though, he's made every kick, but none of them are right down the middle. They are like skewed in by like a couple feet from the cross.
I don't care. I don't need him to make it to the NFL. That dude's not kicking in the NFL.
Hey, field goals are they're just like in golf. They don't ask how, they ask how many. Did it go between those big old sticks? That's all that matters in that game. Though that is a fascinating part of it, is always field position and the little things. And again, every little first down, every little morsel, every little blade of grass, we know how much it matters in that game. And I mean, the Texas O-line part, but Ketch, you keep bringing it up. We're going to hammer it over the next 2 to 3 weeks. Who has the better running game? If you outrush the opponent, we know you win that game a ton, right? Don't turn the ball over and run the ball well. Who rushes better in that game? Who is the running back that has the most total yards? Who's the running back that has more touchdowns? That probably leads you to the victor, but maybe it is going to have to be just creative play calling, and this game has to be won by Moore, Wingo, or on the other side, Burks.
Texas runs the ball better than Oklahoma does.
Yes, they do. A little bit.
Yeah, no, you don't. I'm not telling you that Texas has a Doak Walker Award winner
Right.
backfield.
Yeah.
But they do run the ball better than Oklahoma. It's the difference. But for all of the nitpicking of like, sure would like for them to average more than 4.8 yards per carry, Oklahoma would shank somebody right now to get to 4.8 yards per carry with their running back. So
yeah, they got to be under that because they're trying to turn Blaylock into their guy. You can feel it happening. They're trying to turn Blaylock into the weapon, into the hammer, into the guy. Yeah, I think even the craziest OU fan on earth walks out of that game today thinking, "Ooh, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's number 6. I think is what he wears. I just don't know. I don't know if it's that guy."
But they'll believe in their defense the way Texas believes in their defense. From a fan base standpoint, they'll go into that game convinced.
Yeah,
there's
should.
no way that and they may be right? Like I look at that game a lot like I look at the Ohio State game, where I don't think 20. I think you get to 20, you probably win the game.
Right. And the other thing I would say, I've been saying about every game, but that game, this year's version, if you're not kicking field goals and punting and being really sure when you go for fourth downs, you're just missing the point. Now, that's a game where every point matters. Everything is critical. And when you get a chance to show off your punter, do it. If you get a chance to get 3 points, you do it every time.
It's kind of 2009-ish. Like the elements are different because of the quarterback play that both of those teams in 2009 had. But that was a rock fight for 60 minutes.
Yes, it was.
It was field goals and turnovers, and a quarterback gets hurt in the game, and it was like a root canal for Texas. Like that, they win 16-13 that day, but it felt like one of those games, Chad, you're talking about, which that was not a great Oklahoma team at that point in the year, and they lose Bradford early in that game. That was the Aaron Williams tackle, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah,
and but they whipped that Texas offensive line up front, which we would see rear its ugly head in the Big 12 championship game, and then obviously against Alabama. So that's the thing I think you'd be a little bit worried about, is that, this Texas offensive line, I think, is going to be okay in most of the games it plays in this year. But I think there are 3 or 4 games on the schedule where, and it's not just Georgia, I think OU, I think A&M, I think Florida. It's the one thing that you would say about Florida is they've got some big defensive linemen. And if you don't show up and get ready to play a man's game, they'll whip you up front. Like they did it with Miami tonight. Miami had a real hard time of, even with a very experienced and Carson Beck's been playing really well. Like they turned that game into a little bit of a rock fight. They were just so bad on offense that they never gave themselves a chance.
Yeah, Georgia's defense wants to put you into a sleeper hold and then let their offense finish you off in a weird way. It's like they're just they want to be the most boring team in the world, apparently. All right, gentlemen, 55-0. Texas gets the win. Final thought time, Jason. What's the takeaway?
Just what the doctor ordered for Arch, for this Texas team, for the fan base. They get to enjoy the off week. They can boost some confidence. Florida looks like a very winnable first game of the SEC conference play. I think things went about as perfectly as you could hope tonight.
Catch.
To quote the great poet Sam from the movie Ghost, ditto.
He would never say that. Say ditto. What? Say ditto. What? He said ditto.
I couldn't let us have a show go by without a movie reference. It's extremely dated.
Never seen that movie.
You've never seen Ghost?
No.
How dare you?
I haven't seen most movies, Chad. You should know that by
That's true. You and I really should do a movie show where we go over the movies we haven't seen. All right. Thanks to y'all for jumping in to the Specs Chat. Shout out to the Lowy Law Firm. They've been bringing you the post-game show, of course, for a long, long time. Shout out to Adam and his crew. Thanks to everybody here at TCH Social Austin. We had to move locations this week. There was a big tournament going on up on our main table. We're in a slightly different location. They busted their ass this week to make sure not only do we to get here for the celebration thing yesterday for the 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. They figured all that out for us, and they figured out a location for us tonight. Shout out to John and Ricky and Ryan and the crew at TCH for just being awesome and helping us get set up.
And if you find yourself injured or hurt tonight, Adam Lowy will get you paid.
He will, yes.
It's as simple as that.
He will
Don't
definitely
mess
do
around.
it.
If somebody rear ends you or something like that, take their ass to court and let Adam get you paid.
Damn right. Thank y'all for liking, subscribing, and getting your notifications. Texas wins it with the double nickel.
He don't have all them billboards because he loses all his cases.
Absolutely. They don't give those billboards to – they don't do that for free.
I walked out in the parking lot at TCH, and I looked up and looked,
Hey, it's Adam Lowy. I know him. Remember that QR code in the upper left is how you get into orangebloods.com. Click on that right now. You'll get all the great content post-game from Anwar, from Jason, from Catch, Alex Dunlap, Cody Carpentier, and the greatest message board on the face of the earth. When they're not upset at me, double check. Make sure everything is good this week. 55-0.
Well, we did miss a Tom G super chat.
Texas gets the win.
We see Sark's son
got
a tackle for a loss.
A Tom G super chat. All right, Jason.
It was about Brady. There
right
it is.
Here,
yeah.
This one.
Brady Sarkisian got it. And I saw it.
Oh, is that right?
He got a tackle for a loss.
Sark's son with a 7-yard TFL.
I didn't see it happen, but
so damn big. I'm happy to see the boy finally getting the game. That's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't see it happen, but I saw the box score. I was like, that's pretty cool.
Tom G. We'll leave that up there as we close the door here. Thank you guys for jumping in. Another week coming up. The off week. Take a little bit of a breath to get ready for SEC play. Remember, Tuesday night, we get to find out 4 years of SEC play all at once. The schedule for 26, 27, 28, and 29 is on SEC Network Tuesday evening. Longhorn fans, you're going to find out who are your rivals every year. Is it still those 3? And how is everything going to shake out? We get to figure all that out this week. Thank y'all for jumping in. Take care. Enjoy your NFL Sunday, and make sure to get to orangebloods.com for all of it. And thank you for supporting us here at Orange